Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th Annual Ready Houston Preparedness Kit Chefs Challenge. Now, here's your host for today's event from the Dave Mahoney and DK Morning Show on Mix 96.5. Dave and DK.
How's everybody doing today? What a fun afternoon we have planned for you guys. Obviously, Houston is one of the best culinary scenes in the entire country, and we've got some chefs that are going to get up on this stage and do a little showdown for you, but it's going to be in a very unique way. So officially welcome out to the 4th Annual Ready Houston Preparedness Kit Chefs Challenge. We've got some of, like I said, the top chefs in the entire city, and we are thrilled to be here with you today.
Yeah, I know I'm really excited because I can't cook at all, so I'm hoping to learn a thing or two from everyone that's up here. But while you guys are here, we want you to get some information. You can visit all of these tents that are surrounding you right now. They've got materials, info on preparedness, and we also have emergency vehicles over there. Feel free to go tour them, check them out, get some food. We've got Nico's right here, and we also have Mary had a little party food truck over there if you want to get some sweet treats. Let me tell you a little bit about what the Chef's Challenge is. It's a cooking competition where they only use non-perishable food items, basically the things that you would find in an emergency food kit. So I think that makes this competition even more difficult and more challenging for them. Really excited to see how that pans out. This event's hosted by the city of Houston, and it informs citizens on how to be prepared in any type of emergency. There are 4 steps you need to remember. 1, make a plan. 2, build a kit. 3, stay informed. And 4, know your neighbors. You can find more information and an instructional video up at readyhoustontx.gov.
Yeah, and if you guys want, if you're going to be on social media, if you want to use an official hashtag, it is hashtag ReadyHouston as we go throughout the challenge today. But without further ado, we've got some special guests to welcome up here, and our very first special guest, she's actually from the city of Houston, Jackie Miller from the Mayor's Office of Public Safety and Homeland Security. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Jackie Miller. All right, Jackie, wonderful to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. I'm so happy you all are here today. We had a little accident coming up the stairs. I hope he's all right. Little fall. We are so happy you're here. Thank you for coming to the 4th Annual Ready Houston Preparedness Kit Chef Challenge. I think you're going to have a lot of fun today. And we tried to just threaten things a little bit with the rain just to remind you that it's Houston. And you got to be ready for whatever. Well, we're ready for whatever today. So we're happy you're here. On behalf of the City of Houston, the Mayor's Office of Public Safety and Homeland Security, have a great time. Ask questions to the subject matter experts that are here today. Don't leave without learning something about preparedness and going home and doing something about preparedness. So thank you very much. Have a great time, and let's get going.
One other note, guys, we actually have a silver bucket over there on that table in the City of Houston tent. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you drop your cards in there. We got some really cool prizes that we are giving away towards the end of the Chef's Challenge. So get that card, drop it in that silver bucket, and potentially get set up with some really cool stuff. Now, without further ado, DK, it's time to meet the stars of today's competition, right?
Yes, and the stars are the chefs that are going to be competing today. So let's introduce them to you. First up, we have Chef Eric Aldis from Corner Table and Midtown Barbecue.
All right.
How about a big round of applause?
He's got his game face on, folks. He's ready to go.
I wonder if that's a lucky blue bandana.
Is it the lucky blue bandana? Yeah. Okay.
Next up, we have Chef Paul Friedman from Pelly Pelly. Put your hands
All
together
right.
for Chef Friedman. I see what's going on here. They all have different color bandanas for luck.
Team yellow for Paul. All right, nice.
Next up, Chef Junajet Jet Hurapan from Songkran Thai Kitchen. Our 4th chef is Chef Kenton Marin from Shade. Come on up. Put your hands together.
Man, that is a good-looking beard, sir. Good-looking beard.
Woo. And last but certainly not least, we have Chef Antoine Ware from Harold's Restaurant Bar and Terrace.
Love it.
Welcome, Chef. Good luck to all of you.
Okay, so here's how this works. Obviously, we've got our 5 esteemed chefs on stage, but we also have ourselves 3 judges that are going to be judging this competition. So let's meet them right now. First up, from Paper City Magazine, Laura Ann Claridge. Put your hands together for Laura Ann. Oh, man. She is going to be grilling these judges today. Next up, From Houstonia Magazine, Alice Levin is with us today. Hey, Alice. And last but not least, from the Houston Chronicle, Greg Morago is here today. Hey, Greg. All right, so let me explain how this competition works, and DK, you can help me out here, but sort of explain some of these items. It looks like we've got ourselves some of like the basic stuff that you'll find in the kitchen. So there's a whisk there, we got some knives, and we got some spoons, kind of the regular stuff from a kitchen, right?
I mean, it looks like more stuff that I have in my kitchen, but that's not saying much.
We also have some propane stoves. So, I mean, keep in mind, like all of this is, in the case of an emergency, what would you actually use to cook a meal? So we got a propane grill for each of these chefs. We've got just some standard utensils that you'd basically find in any kitchen. And the chefs are going to create 4 tasting plates to be presented to the judges. Here's the key, though, is that they have to be done in exactly 25 minutes. So these chefs have exactly 25 minutes, and then it's hands up. They have to stop at exactly 25 minutes. And at that point, the judges are going to get to taste these actual items, and this is where it really gets fun. Are you guys ready to see what they're going to be cooking with today? Because this is the really unique part. So, chefs, if you would, just go ahead and rip back the cover there. We'll see what you're cooking with today. We'll get a quick shot of this on the camera, and as you can see, it's basically the stuff that you'd find really in any sort of pantry. So we got some marshmallows, we got some mac and cheese. This is the first time the chefs are seeing this, by the way, so they're trying to figure out in their head right now what they're going to make with these items from a basic pantry. This is where it really gets creative, DK.
Well, this is a little intimidating, in my opinion, because how do you actually make a meal out of all of these different items? We've got 6 different categories. The first category being proteins, which I think is obviously an essential part of any emergency kit. The second category, we have starches, grains, and nuts. Third, we've got fruits and vegetables. Fourth, we have beverages. Does that include alcohol or just like water?
No, I think it's like V8, and yeah, I don't think we get booze on this one.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
Fifth, we've got your comfort foods. And the last category is your basic pantry items. So can you imagine how difficult it's going to be for all of them to put together a creative interest? Well, it's definitely going to be creative, but a delicious meal using all of these emergency kit type of items. So I'm excited to see how this pans out.
Okay, Eric, if I could bug you for just one second, what is your first thought here as you're seeing these different items?
I'm ready for a disaster.
He's ready for a disaster. Are you talking about in what you're going to make today? You think it's going to be a disaster? I mean, this is some pretty unique stuff, right?
It is unique, but you know, we went through Hurricane Ike here in town, and we lost power for a week, and we were cooking on the grill, and being a native Houstonian, knowing what it's like when you lose power for a couple days or whatever, we'll be all right.
Okay, so like I said, we've got some really unique items. Are you guys ready to see how these chefs do? We're going to put 25 minutes on the clock. And before we do that, though, we've got ourselves a PSA from Mayor Turner. Sylvester Turner from right here in Houston is going to give us a word, and then our clock is officially going to begin.
Everyone in the Houston region should prepare for an emergency ahead of time. None of us like to think about disasters, but they happen here just like everywhere else. The Houston region has a plan, and so should you. By taking 3 simple steps, you can help ensure the safety of your family. Make a plan, build a kit, stay informed. Preparing in advance for emergencies can make a big difference when minutes count. Are you ready, Houston?
Are you guys ready? The official countdown clock starts right now. Go, chefs. 25 minutes on the clock. And again, whole item of ideas. And it's time to welcome up our very next guest, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about making a plan, right? So without further ado, from the Houston Fire Department, DK, I believe you're going to welcome up our next guest here.
Yes, right now,
Carla Goffney from the Houston Fire Department. Come on up, Carla. Sorry, I screwed that up, DK. I think that was my line. How you doing, Carla?
Hello, everyone. My name is Carla Goffney. I'm with the Houston Fire Department. I've been a part of the department for at least 19 years. I'll be making my 20 years in November. I'm here today to talk about making a plan. Currently, I'm working in the Public Affairs Office. And what we do, we go out in the community and we install like smoke detectors. And we talk about making a home safety plan. Now, a lot of us, we don't think about making plans in case of a fire. But one of the things, the most important things that we can do in our home is have like a working smoke detector and have a fire safety plan.
Just a little closer to you.
Oh, like it?
Yep, yeah, perfect.
Okay. The first thing we need to do is make sure that we have working smoke detectors. The second thing is a fire home safety plan. Okay? We need to teach our kids where to go in case of a fire and what to do. One of the things in your home fire safety plan is having 2 ways out of a room. Everyone in the family needs to know this. They need to know 2 ways out of the house and 2 ways out of a bedroom in case of a fire. And we also need to know where to meet up in case of a fire. Okay? Another thing is we need to be prepared. Always be prepared just in case. If the fire truck shows up, they need to know if someone is in the house. And they also need to know where is the meeting place. So just in case, if you're not home and you come home and there's a fire in the house, where are your kids? Make sure they know to go, like, set up a meeting place with your neighbors. They may need to use the neighbor's phone to call 911. Anything that deals with the fire, you need to be prepared. Do I have any questions?
I have a question, actually, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Well, maybe it's more of a statement than a question, but when you talked about the fire alarms in your house, and I know that sometimes when they start beeping and you get really frustrated and you rip them off the wall, the best thing to do would be to not dismantle them, because that obviously stops them from working. When it's beeping, is there, you just basically keep an extra set of batteries in your house at all times so that you're prepared to replace the battery instead of disarm that fire alarm?
Exactly. Always have working batteries. And never take the battery out of a smoke alarm to use to do something else, to use it in another appliance or whatever. One of the things, when the smoke alarm starts beeping, a lot of times they beep so often that we take for granted that it's a false alarm.
Yeah.
I know in my house, when the smoke detector starts beeping, my kids, they will sleep through it. Not good. So when your smoke detector starts beeping, you need to make sure that everybody gets up and, just go see what's going on. It's very important, because you never know. It could be a fire. But it's like crying wolf. So many times, we just take for granted that it's nothing.
I think this has all been amazing advice, and obviously things that we all need to remember, because it's really hard to forget to make a plan and know exactly where to meet your family in the case of an emergency. So hopefully you all soak that in, write it all down, and don't forget it, because when it comes to an emergency, you can never be too prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Carla. Thanks so much for coming up today and being with us today here at the challenge. All right, we have got 20 minutes left on the clock. 5 minutes has already disappeared. Taking a look here, you guys are hard at work. I see that the little stove's already boiling. Sorry, I kicked over your sign there, Antoine.
Things
we
are
got some
smelling
ramen
good over
going
here.
right there. We got like a little stew going on with some hot dogs and what looks like some soup. I will say that based on the actual items that they have here on stage, it's starting to already smell pretty good. I'm impressed. What would you say, DK?
I mean, I'm getting hungry. Oh, I get a taste?
What
right.
exactly is he giving you there? What does that taste like?
Some sort of like mashed potato concoction.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to stand right here the entire rest of the challenge if he's handing out taste, if you don't mind.
I mean, these guys are getting serious. They're actually seasoning some chicken up here on stage. They're taking this pretty seriously. And again, the judges are watching very closely everything that's happening, excited to see what's going to happen with each of these dishes.
While they keep working, let's take a brief moment for a public service announcement from Houston Texans, Brian Cushing. Check out the screens.
Before taking the field, it's important to be prepared. In case your home is affected by disaster, have a plan for what to do and where to meet. Build an emergency kit with items such as food, water, flashlights, and batteries, enough to last up to a week. Visit readyhoustontx.gov to prepare your defense. Make a plan, build a kit, know your neighbors, and stay informed. Let's tackle this head on, Houston. Are you ready?
Next up, we have an expert here to talk about actually building a kit. Please welcome John Fleming from the Houston Health Department.
Hey, John, welcome out, man. Nice to have you. John, thanks so much for being here today, man. I mean, we're talking about building a kit, and I see that you actually brought some bug spray with you in your hand. Is that something for the kit?
Absolutely. So we build our kits based on our threats in Houston, and right now we're concerned about mosquitoes. So, DK, how about you put some of this mosquito repellent on? I see you've got some bare skin. We want to make sure you're protected against these mosquitoes. Absolutely. It's real important that all of us use mosquito repellent and these steps to prevent mosquito bites, because we want to protect pregnant women in the Houston area, and all of us have to play our role in that piece. We also have to check our yard, make sure we don't have any standing water, and prevent the mosquito breeding.
Now, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the Zika virus and everything else, and I'm sure that that's one of the concerns. But when you're talking about building this kit, obviously, mosquito spray is going to go in there. What else is really essential to have in this kit?
So you got to build your kit based on your dependents. So you got to look at your family members. Maybe you've got parents or grandparents that are living with you. You've got to consider their needs as well. What do they need for their acts of daily living? Do they have any prescription medications? You also have to think about your pets. Do your pets have any special needs, like medications? Make sure you include those. Some of the older folks might have hearing problems and need hearing aids and hearing aid batteries. Make sure you include those things. Right now, we're lucky. It's a little bit overcast. We don't have to worry too much about sunscreen today. But tomorrow might be real sunny. You have to think about sunscreen. We mentioned the mosquito repellent. Probably today, I want to make sure I have rain gear and an umbrella as well.
And you mentioned batteries for hearing aids, but also just standard batteries, so that way if you lose power, you can put them in a radio, you can hear the emergency alert system, find out what's going on, right?
Right. Staying in touch is real key, making sure you have access to media, especially the radio, with battery-operated power. And then other power sources for your cell phones to keep them charged. An extra cord for your automobile so you can keep your tools working.
And is there anywhere in particular that you'd recommend storing the emergency kit? What is the best place for it?
Keep it where it's accessible. Ideally, still within the area of your home where you have some good climate control. I keep mine by my front door or the back door. I have an exit through the garage, so I have one kit that's kept over there as well.
So again, the little checklist here, we got mosquito spray. That would be on the list as number one, and then we got some batteries in there, and then just remind me of the other items so that way when we go home we can put them right in the...
So prescription medication.
Prescription medication,
sure.
Yep.
Make sure you think about things like food for your pets, and food and water for everybody, a gallon of water every day for each household member. Don't forget your dogs or other pets are going to need water as well. Sunscreen, anything that you might individually need for daily acts of living.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for John. What fantastic advice when you're thinking about putting together that kit when you go home later this afternoon. John, thank you so much for your time today. Taking a look here, we got 15 seconds left, and then we are actually down to the 15-minute mark. So we're already almost halfway through this challenge. Taking a look here, DK, at some of these dishes as they're coming together. I mean, I see like mashed potatoes. Like some of this looks really well done. I see some noodles are cooked up here. What look
and
like
it
some
all
little
looks
sausages.
different. I mean, that's what's really interesting to me is how creative they all in their own special ways. So I'm kind of bummed out that we don't get to eat all this food.
Well, maybe we'll get some scraps from the judges after they're done. But yeah, it's starting to smell really good. All right, taking a look here at the Project Runway winner PSA, Chloe Dow, joining us right now.
Are you in or are you out? Any design requires careful planning, but having a plan for disaster will help ensure your family's safety. The Houston region has a plan, and so should you. You can stay informed by tuning into KTRH 740 AM or logging on to readyhoustontx.gov. Being in the know could actually save your life. It's up to you to be prepared, have a plan, stay informed, and make it work. Are you ready?
All right, you just heard Chloe talking about staying informed. Well, staying informed, we have an expert for that as well. We got lots of people coming out today to share their thoughts. Michael Walter from the City of Houston Office of Emergency Management joining us right now. Come on out, Michael. How you doing, man? Thanks so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about being prepared. I mean, everyone says let's have a plan, but from your level of expertise, what are some of the bullet points that really help people put together a plan in the case of an emergency?
So when we're talking about planning, one of the biggest things you want to consider is how are you going to get information, right? Because in an emergency, whether it's weather-related, whether it's, you know, a terrorist situation or whatever it could be. I mean, here in Houston, we're one of the most threatened places on the entire earth. And so we have to think about staying informed. So one of the things we really encourage people to do is not just have one way of staying informed. If the power goes out, is your TV going to work? No, right? No, right? Okay. So how would you get around that? Probably have something like a battery-powered radio, right? You're going to want to have one of these. This one's also a special kind of radio. It's called a NOAA Weather Alert Radio. Anyone have one of these at home? Okay,
Got
so
a couple hands up there,
there's
yeah.
a couple in the back. So these are great to have because not only will you get, you know, Mix 96.5, but you will also get a special service from the National Weather Service that'll have updated information as that's going on. It's battery powered. You can buy them. They've got a hand crank on them too. So that's just one way. Another big way is to sign up for emergency alerts. So if you're here in the city of Houston, we have a website called houstontx.gov/emergency. That's where you can sign up for all the emergency alerts. If you live outside of the city of Houston, that's easy. Just go to readyhoustontx.gov and there's a link right there for your local jurisdiction.
Has anyone ever felt that panic, like when your phone's on 2% charge left and you just feel like you're about to die because if that phone actually goes down, like you can't hail the Uber or you can't call your text or friends? Oh, well, imagine if you actually were in an emergency situation where if you get home, you can't charge your phone. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, you have to be really prepared in multiple ways. I mean, I see you practice what you preach. You actually have a beaper on. I have not seen a pager in like 300 years.
This is standard government issue. It's the 1990s all over again.
Wow. Does it work?
Oh, yes,
yeah,
it does.
All right,
When the
nice.
fire department needs us, this is the thing that goes off.
All right, so this is all fantastic advice, and like you said, sometimes the crank-powered radios as well. I mean, they're not that expensive. You can go out and get them pretty much at any retail store, right?
Yeah, pretty much Walmart, Fry's Electronics, Target. I've seen them at Big Lots and Walgreens. So just depending on the season, you can find them.
Fantastic advice. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Michael. Great insight there about what to do if the power goes down. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, DK, we got about a minute and a half in this little break here before we're going to bring out our next expert. Taking a look here at what some of the chefs are cooking up.
I want to know how confident you're feeling, Chef Friedman.
Actually, I'm getting there. I'm going to follow him with a volcano, kind of a hurricane. He was a disaster. I'm the hurricane. He's going after it.
Got it. Okay. Do you have any response to that, Chef Aldis?
Go Texas.
That's the perfect response.
Antoine, how you feeling, man?
Pretty confident.
Why are you feeling so confident? It's looking really good right now, but explain what's going on behind this little screen here that people can't see behind.
I cannot, sir.
He's not going to tell us. All right,
cool. He's very secretive. I like it. Not giving anything up.
Kenton, any sort of details that you can share with us as to what's going on, or is it all secretive for you too?
And doing stuff from college, pretty much. Things that I used to do when I cook at college. No money, canned goods.
So you're going back to your college days here with some ramen noodles I see that you've cooked up. I mean, this is some high-level stuff, DK.
I'm certainly not playing favorites, but standing right here, I think smells the best so far. So if that's any indication, we'll see. But it could be a combination of all these smells joining together. But we are just at 10 minutes left in the challenge. Can we give them a big round of applause, some encouragement?
This is
They're
the home
working
stretch
hard over here.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left. And without further ado, DK, I know that we have one more PSA from some more local athletes right here in Houston.
Yes, our next PSA is from Houston Dash players and world champions. Check it out.
Everybody knows the best defense is a good offense.
Houston has a game plan, and so should you.
Talk about where your family will meet in case your home is affected by a disaster.
Choose an out-of-town contact to check in with in case of emergency.
And have enough food and water to last up to a week.
Make a plan, build a kit, know your neighbors, and stay informed.
In other words,
use your head.
Like we said, that's all excellent advice, and knowing your neighbors is a key element. Here to talk about that is Officer Kat McElroy from the Houston Police Department. Big round of applause for Kat McElroy.
How's it going, guys? Welcome out. Okay, so we talk about knowing your neighbors. And, you know, it can be sort of awkward sometimes. Like if you've lived in a neighborhood for a while and you haven't already gotten to know your neighbors, you're like, hey, is it too late to go over there and get to know them? It's important, right? Tell us why.
How many of you know your neighbors? It's good to know your neighbors because you can ask to borrow a cup of sugar, right? An electric card, or get them to watch your children. So it's very important to watch it, to know your neighbors, because where y'all are away from your homes throughout the day, your neighbors, especially those who are retired, can be at home and they notice strange activities or cars that are not usually in the neighborhood, and they can phone in to 911 and give us a tip about a strange vehicle in the yard or driving through the neighborhood. So safety is important first, to get to know your neighbors.
So you get to know your neighbors for all that normal stuff, like you said, borrowing a cup of sugar, or they're watching out for your house for you. But also in the case of an emergency, it's also really important. Why is that?
It's important because in this day and time, we always want to have a good shoulder to lean on. We have those who we trust. And to also knowing your neighbors, I'm going to kick off with National Night Out. National Night Out is Tuesday, October 4th is coming up. And that's the time to go out and meet your neighbors, those you know and don't know, and also meet other neighbors. So the officers that patrol your area and your neighborhoods day in and day out.
So you guys actually have a national night out. So like I said, if it's gotten to the point where it's awkward to go out and meet your neighbors, this is the perfect excuse to do it because there's actually a night out for it. Again, the date on that is October 4th, you said, Tuesday night from 4 to 7 p.m. So the sun's still up. You can go over there, just say hello. It's National Night Out. Get to know your neighbors that way.
Right. And it depends on what area you live in. Your neighborhood might have and celebrate their National Night Out between 6 and 9. It just depends. So you can go to your local police department or your precincts, because National Night Out is not just for the city of Houston, but it's worldwide. So for Houston, we celebrate Tuesday, October 4th. And so all law enforcement agencies will be out. Metro, Harris County, even the feds are out celebrating National Night Out, because we really want to promote police and community partnership, and we want you to fight against crime. We want to build that partnership.
Does anyone know the police officers that patrol their neighborhood? Has anyone met them before? A couple of times. Okay, so a few hands going up. But you're saying that there's regular officers that will work the same neighborhood, so getting to know those officers can go a long way as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so is there anything else? Because I know that you have like a whole gaggle of things in your hand here, and I feel bad that you're having to hold so many pamphlets, but you got a lot of great information for us.
I do. One last thing, you know it floods a lot in Houston. So I just want to give y'all this tip. If you do not have to leave your residence, be safe, stay at home. If you're already in a safe place, don't chance it by going out. Because if you think of a dollar bill, just 6 inches of water can sweep you right off your feet. We don't think like that, but if you measure a dollar bill, just imagine that much of water, and it can sweep you off your feet. And 2 feet of water can sweep away your car. So you think you might can make it, but you can't. So we'd rather for you to stay safe and stay at home or stay at your workplace until the water recedes. Also, another thing, if you see a police barricade, be safe, be smart, do not go around the police barricade. And Houston Police Department does not endorse any particular safety tool, but it's very important to get some type of safety tool and keep it in your car and a good reach with a seal, because in case of emergency and you do find yourself in those flood waters, it only takes 30 seconds to a minute to get to be swept away. So you need a good steel tool to break out the window, and maybe a knife on there to cut the seatbelt so you can get out safely. Remember, 30 seconds to a minute to get out of their vehicle safe without being submerged by water.
Has anyone seen any of those crazy videos on YouTube where like the cars are sinking and people are over there trying to cut them out? It's wild stuff, but you have to be prepared because, like you said, here in Houston, it's a reality. We saw a bunch of crazy stuff going down in Louisiana just a couple of months ago now, and it's really important to have some of these very cheap items that you can just put in your car in case something like this does happen.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Houston Police Department works so hard. It's such an honor to have you guys up here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We have less than 5 minutes left on the clock. It is time. We are almost down to the home stretch. I'm curious, Eric, how you feeling right now? You got less than 5 minutes. I don't want to bug you too much, but how you feeling?
Please don't talk to me.
Got it. Cool. All right. Paul, how you feeling, man?
Doing great, thank you.
Oh, see, Paul's very nice. Yeah. Keep that in mind, judges. Paul over here is very
Chef
friendly.
Jet, how you feeling right now?
I keep it spicy.
Keeps
Ooh,
it spicy.
whoa,
I like
whoa.
that.
Keep in mind, folks, we got some awesome prizes that we are giving away. That silver bucket over there is where you need to drop those cards. I don't want to get too much insight from the judges, but I'm just curious, just generally, how you guys are feeling right now. What's the initial thoughts?
Well, I was very upset to hear that there would be no spam, but
There are a lot of Vienna sausages going onto these plates, so I think we're okay. That's cylindrical Spam.
Is Spam your favorite emergency kit item?
Of course it is. Isn't it everyone's?
Mine too. I just wanted to bond with you over that.
All right, I see some ramen noodles coming out there. What are your thoughts?
I have everything on these tables in my own pantry, so I'm amazed of what I'm seeing so far. So.
Pretty impressive to see some of these dishes come together. They actually look like gourmet meals.
They do. This one in particular. I can't wait to eat it.
I know. These judges really have a treat for them. Your initial thoughts?
I'm intrigued and impressed of what I see coming out of these kitchens here and these makeshift kitchens. I mean, this is a little propane stove. Looks good.
What's amazing to me is just how different each one of these dishes look. Is that something that struck you as well?
Very much so. Very much so. And I can't wait to taste them because they look so varied.
Have you been paying attention to the different items that they've used as they've been cooking?
Absolutely. One of the most interesting things, watching Chef Jet here, he flambéed some things that should not be flammable, and it was really frightening to see that you can do that with peas. But yeah, I also noticed things that weren't used. No one used the Kraft mac and cheese, which I'm very upset about.
Maybe they were saving it for you, Alice, because they know. Oh. Chef
No one
Jet's
used
going
the popcorn either, and I'm kind of bummed
It should
about
have been
that.
Easy Mac.
I mean, I could use some popcorn right now if anyone was sampling that, but that's okay.
I mean, it's really interesting because, like you said just a moment ago, all of these items I look at and I go, yeah, I mean, I've got this stuff in my pantry right now, and to see the concoctions that they're actually making, I mean, I know that these are world-class chefs, but it's really, it's almost a relief to know that in the case of a disaster, if you've got some of these basic items in your pantry and a propane grill, you're able to eat really well.
And one of these chefs.
Yeah, so each one of these chefs is going to come over to all of our houses in case of an emergency and cook for us. That's how it works, right?
Of course.
Well, with just under 2 minutes left now, I want to remind all of you, you can go tour the emergency vehicles. Make sure to enter for the prizes. We're going to be doing those drawings coming up pretty quickly here. There's a silver bucket right over there in the blue tent that you can enter. And you know what? Let's cheer them on. I mean, we're in the home stretch. A minute and 40 seconds. Things are looking pretty interesting. I'm surprised at how many items, like Dave mentioned, have not been used back there. So once these dishes are finalized, I'm going to pick their brain on why they chose which particular items, because I'm with her. I would have liked some Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Now, what's interesting is that each one of these chefs, like I said, have created something that's entirely different. We're not judges, so we're allowed to speak on this. What are you seeing up here that's really intriguing, DK?
I think I saw a dish over here that had some tuna in it, which kind of appealed to me because I'm a big fan of canned tuna fish of all things. Everyone seems to be using noodles in one way or another. Maybe not everyone, but do we have someone using popcorn?
We have less than 60 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. So again, to you chefs, if you've got a final thing to do, this would be the time to do it. I see that Antoine still has a bag in his hand over there. We are down to 45 seconds. He is doing his final preparations. I tried to get anything out of him just a moment ago, asking him if he'd give us any sort of insight as to what he was doing, and he totally shut me down. I like how he's being secretive, though. I like it.
It's kind of amazing to me that in 25 minutes they are preparing delicious meals. It takes me an hour to cook like minute rice. So I don't know how they're doing it, but all of these dishes look fantastic. We're down to 20 seconds. I see some popcorn popping. Thank you for that.
I smell it. I smell it.
You better share that later.
All right, here we go. Down to the final 15 seconds. You guys are going to help us count this down. Here we go. We're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hands up, everybody.
Hands up. All right. All right. All right, here's how this works. We are going to send you judges over to the judges' table, and this is the moment that you have all been waiting for. The judges get to try each one of these unique meals that have been made in just 25 minutes. That's what's really impressive to me, is that they've all come together so quickly. I know that you judges have your hands full with this, but please take your assigned seats. Obviously, you judges have tasted a lot of the amazing cuisine right here in Houston, but today I think is a really, really unique moment. Alice, if you hit your little talk back there, tell us your thoughts now that we actually have the competition in the bag. What do you think in seeing these judges do this?
I am just very excited to try the variety here because it really is so varied. And they had a lot of ingredients. They had more than I expected, and so I think we're going to have a very international meal.
Okay, DK, you want to welcome up our first chef?
Yes, I want to point out that what they're going to be judging on is creativity, taste, and presentation. So it's more than just one thing. It's all encompassing. First up, we want to talk to Chef Eric Aldis. Big round of applause. The moment is here, Chef. How are you feeling? Are you nervous?
Not at all. No, I feel good. I feel good.
Tell us a little bit about your dish and what maybe you think is going to set it apart from everyone else.
Well, all right, so we started on the base. We have a mashed potato that we put green chilies, bacon, and some cheddar cheese in. Pretty smooth texture. Then we made a canned chicken croquette. A little mustard, a little Worcestershire sauce, some breadcrumbs to hold it together. Cooked it in some olive oil. We made a Bloody Mary sauce. V8, Worcestershire, a little mustard, some of those beautiful dried herbs we had back there. And garnished it with some green beans, just, cooked like we did growing up. A little garlic salt, and that was it. Then I've garnished with some olives, popcorn, all came together.
I mean, the dish looks absolutely beautiful, and I tasted those mashed potatoes, right? That's what you handed me? They were good, so that's any indication. I want to hear a little bit from the chefs. Greg, tell us how you're feeling about this dish so far.
The dish looks very composed. It's hard to believe that you were able to do all this in 25 minutes, but I haven't tasted it yet, but it looks very impressive.
And what about you, Alice? How you feeling?
The fake cheese really added an awesome element that I wasn't expecting, because not only is it creamy, but it's a little bit fake tangy too. And so we have some acid. Yeah, I was not expecting much acid in these meals, but there's a lot of depth here.
And last but not least, tell us what you notice is different about this dish.
There's a lot more flavor than I would have thought, because, you perceive canned goods as being kind of bland. They don't have a lot of spark to them, and he's really brought a lot of flavor and a kind of a depth of ingredients and layered a lot of interesting flavors together, and it seems to really work.
All right, well, I think that's all excellent feedback. You are welcome to head back to your station, and we're going to bring up our next chef. Next, we are talking to Chef Paul Friedman. Put your hands together for Chef Friedman. All right, the moment is here. They're going to be tasting your dish any moment. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. South Africa has a lot of influence from around the world, especially Europe. So what I try to do is I try to influence all those countries and bring it into this dish. I start off with a potato latke. Then on top of that, I made a tuna cake. And I used peas and carrots and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of paprika, just to not overpower it, but try to give a whole around feeling of all these different things that are going on there. And there's not any one thing that should overpower the dish. So it's a crab latke cake.
What was the first item that you reached for when you unveiled all the items?
I was confused. It was overwhelming, actually. I think it was the tuna.
Well, it smelled great as you were cooking it. So let's talk to the judges and see how they're feeling about it. Let's start with you, Alice.
Paul, I have a question. There's something very sweet in it. What am I getting the sweetness from?
I added some nuts in the
Is there fruit
Yes,
too?
there's fruit as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I chopped up some dried fruit as well, yes.
I'm getting a sweet and savory thing.
Yes, yes.
But
I left that out, sorry.
latkes, it feels like Hanukkah.
Yeah, it's very close.
What about you, Greg? How are you feeling about this dish so far?
It's very comforting. It's like warm comfort food, which I guess you would want if you were in a disaster or something. You'd want a nice hot meal.
What's the first flavor that stuck out to you?
I don't know, something cheesy. Did you use cheese?
No,
in
I
there?
didn't
No?
use cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, hey,
Oops.
that's cool if you think there's cheese in there.
Lauren, how are you feeling about it so far?
I definitely felt that nutty sweetness on that top layer with the tuna.
Correct,
I was
yes.
like, but I couldn't place it. So it's
Yes.
interesting to kind of know what you did. It almost tasted peanut buttery, but you didn't use peanut butter.
No, I used the nuts and the granola nuts and
The
and of course-
granola.
Yes, and then
Okay.
also I used the different kinds of pineapple fruit, dried fruit, and guava, and so there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's very, very intriguing.
Well, I think you've definitely stepped up the competition here. It's going to be a really close competition. Thank you so much for sharing. You can head back to your station.
Is anyone else getting impossibly hungry right now just looking at these dishes? They look so good. All right, Chef Jet, come on over, man. I've been excited to see what you have concocted here because the presentation looks absolutely incredible. You take us through what this is because it looks great.
I keep it roots. I keep my roots. You know, I saw noodles. I was like, yes, let's do the noodles. Keep it a little spicy. So we have green beans in there. We have bacon bits. You have the little sausage right there. And then just stir fry them up.
And so as you were making this meal, did anything like create a roadblock for you, or were you pretty confident what you were going to make the entire time?
I was looking for coconut milk. Yeah. You know, that's my roots, you know. So I found a green chili paste instead.
And rate yourself. Obviously, the judges are going to make the final call, but how do you think you did?
I'll survive.
You'll survive. All right. I hope so. Laura Ann, give us your initial thoughts as you dig in here.
Well, it looks terrific, but I haven't tasted it yet. But it looks like there's candied bacon on the top.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. And a
Turn
little
away bacons.
Yeah, a little sausage.
What's interesting is that, you know, one of the criteria that you're being judged on is the presentation as well. Obviously, taste is very important, but the presentation, I will say that looking at all these dishes, your presentation was amazing. I mean, even the placement of the little sausage was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Greg, what do you think?
There's a lot of layers here. I saw you go through the whole thing, and it's actually like 4 layers of flavor. So, yeah, I thought it was neat.
You have stir-fried noodles, then you have green chili tomato sauce, then you got your crispy bits. Keep it dry.
When you talk about those 4 different layers, are you finding that they're blending together well?
Oh, yeah. It's good.
And Alice, what are your thoughts? I know that you've been digging in there.
So while Jet was making it, he found that bacon and he looked right at me and said, "Bacon? Winner!" And the bacon is pretty winning. And it's a very nice level of heat, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Chef Jet. What an amazing dish. Very excited to see what the judges have to say about this. Ken Marin is up next. Come on over, man. Looking forward to see what you got here. Very interesting dish that you created as well. You said you're taking it back to the college days when you were broke and you were doing ramen noodles. It looks like we got some noodles in there. Take us through it.
Before my culinary days, it was about 4 years of eating ramen noodles, hot dogs, eggs, and going to school. All my roommates loved my cooking for some reason. We had no time, and we just got a bunch of canned goods and put them together, and it always had a kind of like a homey feeling to it. It's always pasta. It's amazing how many things you can do with ramen noodles: croquettes, soups, pastas, different things. So,
would you say that ramen noodles are actually one of the more diverse things that you'll find in a regular pantry?
I think everybody I know has ramen noodles, at least something there to keep them, because you can make so many different things out of it.
Well, you said that ramen noodles are the base here, but what do we have stacked on top? What are these judges enjoying right now?
I grabbed the beef stew and I reduced it to making like a sauce with Vienna sausages, put some seasonings in there, and chilies, and put it a little bit more southern, but it's pretty much what my idea is to make it feel like you're eating a nice home-cooked meal at home, even though there's no power or whatever the circumstances can be.
Let's see what the judges have to say. Greg, we'll go to you first on this one. What are your thoughts?
Normally when you're cooking with ramen noodles, that packet of seasoning is always so salty. Did you use any of that in here? Okay, good, because it's not salty, and even though you have the canned meats, it's I'm glad that it's not. This is like the salt bomb that normally comes with ramen noodles.
Alice, you're up next.
If I were blindfolded, the oregano would make me think this was a pretty typical tomato-based pasta dish. But what I wrote down as you were making it was, okay, this is Vienna sausages in a Dinty Moore reduction. And so that's what it looks like, but that's not what it tastes like once you actually blind yourself to what that looks like.
And last but not least, Laura Ann.
What's the spice that you use besides oregano? Well, oregano's the herb.
Thyme
but
and
what's
cracked pepper. Crema red flakes.
yeah, the red pepper flakes. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. There's a lot of flavor, and it's just it's an intriguing dish. Yeah, I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Kent Ware, give your hand. Thanks so much, man. And last but not least, He has been shrouded in secrecy this entire time. Antoine Ware, ladies and gentlemen, come on up. I asked him up on stage what he was making. He bluntly told me to go away. Now you have to, sir. What do we got going on?
I tried to recreate red beans and rice and fried chicken.
That would be a tall order in 25 minutes with just the items that you had. How do you feel you did?
Hopefully I did okay.
I mean, looking at you've got a number of different things on this plate. Was that the goal as opposed to like some of the other chefs where they layered everything? You wanted 3 distinct flavors?
Well, I wanted to keep it pretty simple, and being from New Orleans, and that's one of the dishes you can find anywhere on a Monday. So there's some Vienna sausage with some pimento beans and a lot of spice in there. And there was a can of white chicken breast, and I fried that in some seasoning and some rice.
What was the biggest challenge as you were going through the 25 minutes and you were working on all of these dishes? Was there any roadblocks that you hit that you went, man, this is really, it's a challenge?
Trying to get another pot to cook the rice. Yeah. The rice, I don't think the rice got started a little late. So, yeah, but.
They're giving it a thumbs up right now. It looks pretty good. Lorianne, what do you think?
I think it's great, but I wonder, like, would you ever in real life use brown rice for a dish like this?
I eat brown rice a lot. Yeah.
Would use it for like, okay, because it's just traditionally I see white rice a lot, so I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
But it's a nice flavor component with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, Alice, what are your thoughts?
Giving you the thumbs up because the rice is a really lovely, toothsome kind of texture. But I don't know how you got these chunks of chicken to hold together.
I don't know myself.
That's why you were so secretive, because you don't even know.
Yeah, there were some nice little chunks in the can, so you had to pick them out pretty carefully.
Alchemy.
And last but not least, Greg, your thoughts, please.
I agree with Alice. I saw you pulling out the chunks from the can of, I guess, chicken breast, and I was like, I would never think to try to take them out whole. I mean, in whole pieces and fry them, and it's like chicken nuggets. It's great. But the thing that's really impressive about the red beans is that they have that creaminess that you expect from traditional red beans and rice dish, and it's amazing that you got that creaminess. So,
put your hands together for Antoine Ware, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much, man. So if you judges would go ahead and take your scorecards, they're going to collect them here. This is going to be very interesting. DK, if you'll walk and talk with me, I mean, what I really found interesting about the way that the judges were talking about each one of these meals is they didn't fully let on what they were thinking, right? It seemed like they were all very intrigued by what they were eating, and it seemed like they were really enjoying it, but I didn't really get a read of who's leading this challenge at this point.
It's anybody's game right now, I think, clearly, especially with the way the dishes were described, how excited they were about the ingredients and the different complexity of all of it. So it's anybody's game. But while we are waiting for the judges to tabulate their scores, we have some prizes that we're going to give away.
We got this big silver bucket?
We've got 3 prizes we're going to award.
Okay, first up is a $40 gift card to Shade. So going and getting some great food, $40 gift card. DK is going to draw the winner's name. And again, you must be present to win. So if this name that gets drawn isn't here, we're going on to somebody else that is. Here we go.
Shaking it up good. All right. Forgive me if I butcher this. It's Maggie. Is that Ortega?
Is there a Maggie? It looks like Ortega. Is there a Maggie Ortega that is here?
Going once. Going twice.
Well, see you later, Maggie.
All right. We're going to pick again. Michelle Moreau. Is Michelle Moreau here? Michelle Moreau? Oh, I saw a hand up.
No, that's a dude pretending to be Michelle. You're a liar. You're not Michelle.
You don't look like Michelle.
If your name is Michelle, you have to have a talk with your parents.
All right. Lucky for you guys, you have to be present to win, so we're just going to keep pulling names.
Doing this.
Eddie Stroud. Is Eddie here?
Eddie's
here. All
right.
Congratulations, Eddie.
Is it really? It's your father-in-law? Nice. Congratulations, man. $40 gift card to Shade. We appreciate you coming out. Thanks so much. Okay, we got 2 more that we are giving away. What's up next? Okay, a South African experience for two from Pele Pele. $150 value. Wow, this is awesome.
I thought you were going to say we were giving away a trip for two to South Africa, and I was going to be really impressed.
I hadn't gotten to that yet. Yes, and you also get your own private plane to fly you there. You get to keep the plane. Yeah.
All right, our winner is John Stroenbahn. I totally butchered that last name.
John
S.
Stroenbahn.
Oh, he's here. I see some cheering.
You better run. You only got
Come
3
on.
seconds. Come on, man. Oh, yeah.
You don't really have to run. Don't listen to
Dave.
Dave.
I was kidding. All right, John. $150 South African experience to Pele Pele. So congratulations to you, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much for coming out. And thank you for your service as well. Big round of applause for John and the American Red Cross. How about that? Actually works for disaster relief. Love it. Love it. Last but not least, we've got one more to go here. What is the prize that we are giving away? $200. It's a $200 certificate for food and beverage from Midtown Barbecue. How great is that? $200. All right, here we go.
Kind of bummed I didn't enter this contest.
Me too. That's a lot of barbecue, right?
Elam Ghanem. Elam, E-L-H-A-M.
There
We're
she
here?
is.
All right.
All right.
Come on up.
Do you like barbecue?
I'll arm wrestle you for it. I'd probably lose.
Should take you down. Congratulations to you. 200. Do you like barbecue? You will like barbecue? You're starting to like barbecue. Congratulations to you.
Well, you know what is really telling right now is that the judges are still tabulating their scores. So that means there's a little bit of debate going on. They haven't quite finalized what they think. So I don't know. You guys feeling a little nervous? You feeling confident?
Yeah, let's run it down. I mean, Eric, you obviously saw the judges' reaction to your meal as well as to everyone else's. Your thoughts? How do you think you did?
I think we all did real good. I mean, it's creative, using those canned goods. A lot of us don't even have any of those canned goods in our restaurant. So to get out here, it's for a good cause. Huge crowd. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is awesome.
Yeah, how cool is this to have so many people out here enjoying this competition? Talk about your experience, Paul. How did you find it coming out today? I mean, obviously, Houston has one of the best culinary scenes in the entire world, but to work alongside 4 colleagues who are also part of this amazing food scene here in Houston, what was your experience like today?
Well, it's amazing to get together with chefs that understand the culinary experience, and they've all contributed to helping Houston become what it is today. And I think we're a foodie town now. And thanks to all of our wonderful guests that are out there. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate it.
And Chef Jet, if you would just tell us a little bit about, Houston becoming a food town. Like, how important is that to the culture of a city to have that reputation when you're like, I'm going to Houston, I'm going to eat really well. And I know that, like, when I'm on the phone with family members, I'm like, you're going to have an awesome time here because we're going to go do a bunch of fun stuff and go to an Astros game and blah, blah, blah. But the food is going to blow you away. How important is that for a city?
For me, it's spice them up. Houston loves spicy food. Thai food is one of them. That's all I got.
Love it. Love it. And your experience today, how did you find it?
It's great. I love working with these guys, especially, I guess I am a lot younger, so it's good to me to be here with them.
Did you just call them old?
No, I'm just younger, but I've worked with Anton a couple of times, and I'm happy to meet all these other chefs and be part of this group.
All right, Antoine,
He
take
already
us home.
said, don't talk to me, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I've actually gotten that from him a couple of times today. We can talk now, right?
Yes, we can talk now.
All right. To round us out, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people out here who have been watching you cook today. What are your thoughts being able to do this in front of a crowd of people? Because I imagine that pardon the pun, turns up the heat a little bit.
It was an honor and a pleasure. I mean, especially get to cook with these guys. I mean, thank you guys for coming out and cheering us on. I think we did our best that we can with the dishes that we have here, because you never know when there's going to crisis going to happen. So hopefully we encourage someone. They might grab a dish out of this and cook it at home, something like that.
Let's run a little bit more with this culinary scene here in Houston. I mean, outside of what you do, you work very hard every day to make sure the people that are coming into your restaurant are having a great experience. But what are some of your favorite restaurants that you love to share with your family and friends? Is that allowed? Are you allowed to ask?
Did you stump him? You stumped him.
Is that like asking Bill O'Brien who his other favorite football team is?
Dog.
No. What are some of your favorite foods? Then we'll do that.
I like Southern cuisine. I've had some of Kenton's dishes before, and I think he's an awesome chef. So Shady's pretty nice, and we work and live in the Heights, so I think the restaurants in the Heights are coming alive.
So I won't just do it to you. Same question going to you then. What are some of your favorite restaurants or type of cuisine that you enjoy when you're not obviously at your own place or cooking your own food?
Southern cuisine too. I didn't know anything when I grew up in Peru about Southern cuisine, so that I've gotten used to it and enjoy it a lot here. I love going the Heights area too, so Southern Goods I go a lot. Well, Cultivar is not Southern, but it's right there. A lot of times we just go for the late night bites, so it's good.
All right, Chef Jet?
Noodle House.
Noodle House. Quick answer. I love it.
That's all I got.
That's all he's got. All right, Paul, what do you got for us, sir?
Well, we always ask the chefs, where does the chef go out to eat? And, I think all of my colleagues here will agree with me, is that we don't look at anything else or any other business as competition. We look at it as we're part of a big group, we're part of a whole family. And if you look at each one of us, we prepared today something uniquely different, and we're all from different kinds of backgrounds. So for me, I like to try all the new restaurants that open up, see what they're doing, and wish them well.
And Eric, is it possible to go out as an executive chef and enjoy a meal without critiquing everything? Or is it sort of like the second that you sit down, everything is running through your head about how they're doing? Are you able to just sit down and enjoy a meal without having to break it all down?
So, owning restaurants and being a chef, when you're off, you're off. You're not going in, you're not critiquing anything, you're promoting, you're being positive, and you're really just finding the great in everything that everybody's doing. People make mistakes all the time, every day. And so I'm not going in and trying to find any of those mistakes. I'm just looking to hang out with my friends, and usually it's my wife and my family, and we go out to eat and just enjoy our time together.
Wonderful. What great insight from all of you guys on cuisine throughout Houston. DK, without further ado, I think it's time, isn't it?
I think we have our winner has been tabulated. And to announce our winner, please welcome back to the stage Jackie Miller and last year's winner of the challenge, Janelle Witt. Come on up.
All right, guys.
Well, first of all, before we award the winner, I want to say again thank you for coming out today. I hope you will take a few minutes to visit the ambulance that the fire department has brought out and the emergency response vehicle from Red Cross and pick up preparedness material. I also didn't mention when I was up here before, I want to thank Kroger, who sponsors this event and provides all of the food that we use for this. And I will tell you that all the unopened food that we don't use, we will take to the food bank after we close out this event. So it is a very nice thing to sort of continue to take it out into the community. So we're very pleased that you came out. It's a successful event. And we thank Janelle. She won last year, so she's here to help us present the award this year. And we have a tie.
Oh, no.
So we're going to ask them to come down here and arm wrestle. No.
One of them gets the knife inside of the trophy case.
We get the knife, yeah, we'll get the knife out and we'll go that way. No, so we are going to award 2 awards this year because they even tied on taste. So we thought we could break the tie on taste, but they scored the same there. So we feel like the appropriate thing to do is award 2 winners today. And so the winners are...
Drum roll, please. Cool.
Chef Eric. And Chef Jet.
How about a big round of applause for all of our chefs today? 5 amazing chefs, 3 amazing judges. So many people to thank, but primarily want to thank you guys for coming out. I feel like we've learned a lot today. Have you guys had some fun today? Fantastic. Chefs, come on down. We're going to do a photo op with you guys. Want to obviously thank our judges, Kroger, Market Square Park, Mix 96.5, and everyone that came out and was a part of this event today. For more information about Ready Houston and to sign up for emergency alerts, go to readyhoustontx.gov. We're going to see you guys next year for Ready Houston Chefs Challenge in 2017. This happens every single year. And remember, make a plan, build a kit, stay informed, and know your neighbors. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. Have a great afternoon.